Hello. It's like every day. This is day 44 of 100 Days of Code. And it's the Code Call. We are here with the man, the myth, the legend, sharing his progress live for everyone to see. It's Leon Andersen. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm doing great. And today I started the section on RESTful routes. And the section started with GET versus POST requests. That was interesting. Basically, just the overview that getting is it's requesting information from the server. Post requests are requesting to post something into the server, for example, comments or uploading anything or writing a blog, posting a blog article, and so on and so forth. And the video so far went over the basic setup to basically what needs to be required, what else needs to be set up, and so this was done with the example of a form, and usually when you have a form, it by default it goes to some site when you submit. We learned before how we can prevent that default with an event listener, so that the site stays basically on the same side without refreshing it and still having some changes on the site. But this time we did it in a way where we left in that default, but basically let it go to a subdomain, basically to /tacos, and on that /tacos we wrote the app.get for the case of the GET request form that we had there, and app.post for the post request form that we had as well on the main page. And depending on which of those gets triggered, we each have a different response.send coming to that subdomain of /tacos. And in the GET we have GET /tacos response, and that basically just a string of GET tacos response. And in the post we have post /tacos response, and then we console.logged into the console basically what the payload, I think was the word. I never heard that before, but basically what gets submitted in those forms. And then we ran into the issue that there was undefined. So by default, Express, I think it's an Express default, that per default it's undefined because it's not clear in what kind of data format, what data type is going to be requested, or what data type is wanted as the output. And so we set up a what's the name? Middleware. Let me check the exact syntax. Yes, app.use, basically for every time it gets used, the website, whatever request there is. We have a express.url encoded. So this is basically for the case that like URL encoded is basically the data format that's most common for the text that gets inputted, it's submitted through forms. There is also extended :true inside of that method, but I don't know, like we didn't go into what that means. But and then we also wrote an app.use express.json. No matter what gets put inside there, of these both options, both can be basically rendered. Yeah, basically then we wrote into the app.post or in the post form that we yeah, basically the parameters that we were asking from the asking in the type form in the yeah, I think type form is a company, but form in which you can type text. In the form we had what kind of meat we want in the taco and what quantity of tacos. Always these great examples. We defined with const and then curly brackets meat, comma quantity equals request.body. So this means that, or this leads to the point you can use request.body to yeah, inside of the response.send. So then we can basically post from the homepage of the taco forms onto the subdomain of /tacos. Okay, here are your meat, comma quantity inputs, basically. Yeah, so use the meat and quantity in the backticks $ curly brackets to display what has been posted. So basically I learned the basics of how to post stuff on the internet. What's happening behind the scenes. Yeah, and I think yeah, but basically that's it. And I also just learned the word payload, and I repeatedly heard the word middleware, which I heard in the section before as well. So this was a reminder of that. And yeah, I think that's
Great. Like, I'm so hyped for you. Like, all of the stuff that you're learning right now is super relevant. And just to think back like that, like, we're at day 44, so you could argue that day 45, we're at 1.5 months. But in 1.5 months, you've went from never having, even used JavaScript to using, first of all, HTML and CSS, and now starting to understand the basics of how server works. Like that's just amazing. And all of the stuff that you're learning right here about like the REST protocol, that's what everyone uses. Like no matter if you want to understand a Python server or you want to understand a Rust server or a PHP server, like it doesn't matter. Almost all of them are also using the REST protocol because the other protocols that are out there are just rarely used, like GraphQL or TRPC. Like TRPC is used in many blockchains. GraphQL is like a very modern thing that some cool kids use, but REST is used everywhere. All of the web is built on it. And then also the things that you learn more, like payloads and middleware. What most web frameworks in most languages have these concepts. I mean, payload is something of the REST protocol, but like a middleware is something that, like if you ever want to build something in Python with a framework that exists there, such as Django, for example, you will also learn about middleware. So all of these things that you learn are not only like super useful for you in whatever you want to build one day, but also they are permanent, perseverant everywhere in the web.
Nice. Yeah, I'm super excited to go on with that lesson and with everything.
Awesome. Yeah, it's great that it's still fun for you. I hope it continues to be fun even on day 440 and on day 4400. And thanks everyone for watching. If you catch the recording, check us out live. We would love to have you here and answer your questions too. Just stay coding every day a little bit. No matter how much time we have for 10 minutes, just do a little bit. If you have 3 hours, do a little bit more and keep compounding your knowledge. Let your brain, your subconscious mind pick up the language just by confronting it every day a little bit with it. Immerse in the world of coding and immerse in our world of teaching and check out our streams more often. Thank you. This has been day 44 of 100 days of code in the code call with
Leon Andersen and my mentor.
Alex Nil from 10x Dev. Thank you, everyone.
Bye bye until tomorrow.
And always ABC and
AFAB. Party people.
AFAB, exactly. See you guys.